some funny shadows on your face from the
lighting's weird.
The Easter stickers.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to Pretty Good Cooking.
Pretty good.
We're making brunch. It's a brunch episode. And I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna get busy. Today I'm gonna teach you how I make a Chinese egg and tomato stir fry. Chinese egg and tomato is like a home dish. It's a pretty quick breakfast. Everyone has like their own way of making it. It's not a fancy dish. I would be surprised if someone came in and told me I'm doing it wrong, because it's like, it's just not that fancy, you know. It's like something's like tuna mac or something, you know. Anyways, I'm gonna get started on that. We're gonna round out the brunch. I'm gonna have some bacon, and we're gonna make a sesame kale side dish so we can eat more vegetables, which is always good. So let's get started. I'm preheating my oven to 400 degrees because we're gonna bake our bacon. That is my preferred method for cooking bacon. You can cook a lot of it at the same time, and that's really nice if you're serving a family, such as we are today. I've got these pre-cut parchment papers. They are goated, as the kids might say. And all we're gonna do is spread the bacon out on the parchment and bake it. The other things that I like about baked bacon is that cleanup can be relatively quick and easy, and you can get a texture that I really like. I almost describe it as, I don't wanna say leathery, but it still has some chew to it, but it's not crunchy, but it's not soft, it's not floppy. You almost might think of this as like a medium bacon. So my oven's not preheated yet, but I don't really do this in a timed manner anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it in there, and we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, next up we're going to make our rice. This is a over rice dish, so I just have jasmine rice here today. And this dish is perfect if you have leftover rice and you don't have to bother with making more rice in the morning. This is 1.5 cups, and we will add 3 cups of water. Okay, so we got bacon going, we got our rice going. Let's work on our kale. And my kale is just a little bit old. That's okay, most of it's fine. The little bottom leaves are past their prime, but we'll just pull those off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip the kale, and then I'm gonna soak it. And I like to soak kale because kale, and leafy greens as such, are often riddled with bugs. So I just have it in big whole leaves now. I'm gonna try to like push it down into this water a little bit. But this kale looks pretty clean. Yeah, pretty much nothing. So we'll just let it sit for a little bit here in the water.
If you had a salad spinner, would you use that instead of the soak method?
No, I would not. But I, in fact, do have a salad spinner now, thanks to Jen and Eric, who sent me a salad spinner after I complained about it in a video, which was very nice of them. They didn't have to do that, but this is... Actually, yes, we will use the salad spinner today, but not to get the bugs out. Okay, so this is a fast dish, and we're gonna be multitasking a little bit, so I'm going to do a little bit of prep to make sure I got everything where I want it. Totally optional ingredient in our stir fry today is ginger. I could take it or leave it. I don't really think it makes a big difference for me, but since we got it, we'll use it today. And I like to use a very small amount because it can be overpowering. All right, here's garlic. We're gonna put garlic in both our kale and in our eggs. So I've got a clove for each that we will just finely chop. All right, there's our garlic. And I have some of the crappiest green onions. I pulled all the bad parts off. There's a little bit left. All right, there's our green onion. Probably use that as a garnish today. I'm gonna chop up some tomatoes that I'll wash. I think I'm gonna use 8 this morning, and I'm using the cheapest Roma tomatoes, not high quality at all, to demonstrate that this dish can be quite good with very inexpensive ingredients. So, how will we chop them? I like to chop them vertically into pieces like this. So you almost have like a tomato baton, but you can chop them however you want. You can do it finely minced if you're like worried about tomato texture, but I frequently will grab a Roma and cut it into 9 pieces like so. All right, there's our tomatoes. Kind of looks like it might be too much tomatoes, but you know, whatever. All right, so our rice is cooking. Let's give a quick peek at our bacon. It's actually cooking pretty quickly, looks nice. So, what that tells me is it's time to get busy. So I'm gonna use a larger pan today because I'm making more of this than usual. And what I typically do is make 2 eggs per person. I was gonna say we're gonna use 7 eggs, but I found a broken one, so we're not gonna use that. And we're just gonna scramble them. Okay. And we're gonna flavor the eggs with Shaoxing cooking wine. And the metric that is often used for this dish is a capful, which is plenty. And if you want, you can salt it a little bit. And I'm gonna add a dash of white pepper. And on a video of ours many years ago, someone said white pepper smells like a barnyard to me. And that has been stuck in my head ever since. And I kind of avoid white pepper because of it. It makes me think of manure smell. So thanks, viewer, you ruined white pepper for me. I've never thought about it that way before. But what you'll notice, or what John will notice, because he has a nose here, is that it smells very aromatic. All right, over here in my pan, we are going to use a neutral oil to start. Not too terribly much, just enough to coat the pan. And we're gonna lightly scramble these eggs. So while that's heating up, I'm not gonna do anything. Never mind, I'll just wait a second for it to heat up. My eggs, and what we're going to do is partially scramble. So we're going to partially cook them. I think that bacon's actually pretty close to being done. And this is smaller bacon, so it actually didn't take very long to cook. That's about where I like it. So you can see we are fully cooked. You can see it still bends, and there will be like a nice chew to this, but it won't be burnt. Well, this non-stick skillet, it's not that non-stick anymore. So we're just going to partially scramble, no problem. And again, like part of why it's sticking like this is I didn't let the pan heat up. I didn't fully coat it with oil. So this one's on me more than the pan. So the reason that I'm partially scrambling first is I think it helps develop nicer egg curds, which is something I like texturally. So I'm actually gonna stop right there. See, it's partially cooked, but not all the way cooked. So that's like a very runny scramble. And we will pop that to the side. Okay, so we're gonna add a little bit more oil to the pan. My egg bits are gonna be fine, I don't care, it's fine. And we're gonna start with some aromatics. So I'm gonna grab my ginger and about half my garlic. Look at me just pushing into the sharp edge of the blade like a big brain person. And we'll pop our aromatics and a little bit of green onion right there. I'm gonna keep scraping the egg bits because they're bothering me. I'm just gonna let that open up a little bit of flavor. For the minute or so that that's doing that, we can spin our kale in our salad spinner. So here's the salad spinner. Look how nice this thing is. Hell yeah. All right, check this out. I got wet kale. Let's take it for a spin, baby. I might have overloaded it. Oh dear. There we go. There's no need to do it with as much enthusiasm as I'm doing. I'm just happy to have it. And how much water did we get out of there? Oh, that water! Oh God!
Are they gonna need to send you another one?
No, it's fine. Everything's fine. No problem. It's fine. No problem. Okay, so our kale is still slightly damp. We could keep going, but probably what I'll do is I'll chop it up before I give it another whirl. But let's get our tomatoes going. Now that that's opened up the aromatic flavor, you can cook the tomatoes to the doneness that you like. Almost as if different people can enjoy different things. I don't know if that's true, but I believe it. So I'm turning my heat up a little bit. I'm gonna salt it a little bit. And I'm just gonna cook these down maybe 5 minutes so they start breaking down. And the idea is that we want like the skin to start to mush up a little bit. That's how I like them. And now that I have room, chop my kale. My poor kale, my poor brand new salad spinner. Do I not deserve nice things? So I'm just chopping the kale. This is totally optional, but I like to get it into closer to bite-sized pieces. Cooks a little bit better that way. All right, let's give it one more spin, partially to get more water out, but also to demonstrate that I did not in fact break it, I hope. Yeah! And there we have some very nicely dried kale, and we got a little bit more water out of it. Excellent. So I'll go ahead and start cooking the kale as well. And I think my rice is probably done. Yep. Turn the heat off there. So for the kale, we're gonna use, again, a neutral oil. That's way too much, but whatever. Too late now. And I will pop the rest of my garlic into the oil and give that a little saute. Keep flipping our tomatoes around. You can see they're starting to break down. So you can see like when you poke them, they're starting to come apart. That's what we want. We got a little bit more time on these. Here's something cool. Not cool, but a piece of knowledge, I guess. Is that cool? Maybe. I turned my oven off. It's still hot. My bacon, I don't really want it to be cold, so I'm just gonna pop it back in the oven and let it keep going, but it should probably not cook too terribly much more, and I'll just leave it open like that. All right, so my tomatoes are not done cooking, but they are softened. We're gonna season with some soy sauce, 100% optional. I like it that way. And then we're gonna get wild and crazy, and we're gonna put ketchup on these tomatoes. That's right. Not everybody does this, but a lot of people do this. But what you'll see is just the addition of the soy sauce and the ketchup, we're starting to build a sauce from the liquid. And this is very, very lightly cooked garlic. It will keep cooking, but I'm gonna go ahead and start putting my kale in so that it can start cooking down. And you, if you're unfamiliar with cooking greens, may say, well, that's a small pan for these greens. But unlike a ballpark hot dog, kale shrinks when you cook it. Since I put white pepper in there, I don't really feel the need for black pepper, but you could certainly do that. Or you could let your guests pepper their own food. What a concept. All right, I'm gonna lower the heat to low on my my tomatoes, and I'm gonna mix my eggs back in, which have sort of set. You can see there's not too much runniness as much as there were. I'll break it up and I will start mixing it together. So I'm just gonna let that hang out. Finish my kale. This is already pretty close to where I like it. All right, so we're gonna finish this with sesame oil, and we can add some soy sauce. Why not? For flavor. Sesame oil burns pretty easily, so that's why we didn't cook in it. So we're gonna use it to flavor it. Soy sauce. Just so everyone can see, my stir fry is simmering, so it's continuing to cook, but I'm gonna turn it off because we're nearing the end. And I am going to put some sesame seeds on this yummy stuff. So look at that. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, time to eat. So this is an over rice dish. I usually eat over rice dishes in bowls, but I think it'll look nicer on a plate for our photo presentation today. Yeah, it is not the prettiest dish in the world, but it is quite tasty. So this is a heaping helping, and we will finish with some green onion, like so. And I'll clean up the plate for presentation. Kale, and if you want that to look real pretty in a photo, put more sesame seeds on top, and bacon. All right, let's give it a taste. So I've got my egg and tomato and rice, and it's all very hot and probably gonna burn me. Just how I like it. I actually think I could use a smidge more soy sauce, but it's crazy. Where they put soy sauce in a bottle, you can pour it right on top. Amazing. Super good. I love making this for breakfast. It's super fun. It's something different from what we normally eat, but also familiar because we often eat eggs and tomatoes. Let's try the kale for health. They're very tasty. And here's the bacon, which is a little like chewier, but it's pretty meaty bacon. So maybe it could have gone like another minute or two, but still good. Tastes good. And that's our show today. And that's how you do it. We'll see you next time on PGC. Bye-bye.